let's get into spoilers. Okay, spoiler section here. God, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah, because like once again, this movie's kind of bland in a lot of. It's bland in a lot of areas. Okay, let's start with something simple and nerdy.
Okay.
Black Canary only uses her canary cry once in the whole film. This woman is literally packing a sonic bazooka in her lungs, and she never uses it, and I don't know why.
They try to explain why, but it's a very terrible reason.
Yeah, because Renee Montoya comes to her and saying like, hey, I used to work with your mom. She would help the police.
Yep.
You could do good too. I know you have her superpowers.
First of all, how do they know that? Like, if she never uses it, how do they know?
I guess because like they know it passed on genetically or something, I guess. But here's the thing. Okay, so she doesn't want to fight crime because her mom fought crime and she died. And now she grew up without her mom, I'm assuming. So she doesn't want to be that. That's fine. But that's still not a reason not to use your superpowers. Like,
so now she works for the crime that killed her mom.
Yeah. I think they kind of indicate like using her canary cry drains her because the one time she uses it, right after, if you know, she kind of like collapses. But she was like holding her canary cry for a good extended period of time.
Like a minute.
Yeah. Like,
and it was a big area blast too. It wasn't like a small little thing. It was a gigantic, probably like 50-foot radius area blast. Like,
yeah, it was throwing like men and cars and like breaking glass like that. Yeah, that was cool. That's how the canary cry should look. But it's like, okay, is this using a period? Are we saying this version of Black Canary using the canary cry period to like drains her and like she has to like, she like loses, consciousness or whatever every time?
She does kind of hint at that before she does it though. She kind of like looks at the other girls and she's like, I don't remember exactly what she says, but I got the feeling she was going to collapse after using it. Like that's because of what she said. I got that feeling. Yeah. So she does kind of hint that it takes a lot out of her, but...
Yeah, maybe using a short burst. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she only uses it once, and she basically saves the day. She could have saved the day a lot earlier if she would have used it earlier.
Yeah.
But I will say this about her character. She's never, ever bad. She doesn't really do bad shit in the whole movie.
No, she works for bad people, but she's not a bad person.
She sings in a club, and then after she sings in the club, for 1 week, she becomes Roman Sionis's driver.
Yes.
That's it. That's all she does. She's not actually bad in any way.
No. She just works for bad people because she's just trying to get work. She just has a job. I
will say, though, I didn't understand. She does betray, obviously. She betrays Roman.
Yeah.
And when he's told about it, he starts sobbing. And I was really confused about that. He has this like weird unnatural affection for her.
Yeah, she's like the only woman he seems to actually like, and I'm not sure why.
We never understand that. He like will hug her and like he's worried about her and he wants her near him all the time. And it's just really weird because we don't know why. He shows that he hates women all the time.
The only thing I can maybe give, he does say at one point, it's at one point in the movie where he finds out Harley Quinn stole Cassandra Cain, and now because the point of the movie is Cassandra Cain stole, and this is going to sound a little complicated. She stole a diamond, a valuable diamond, just for the fact that it's a diamond, but on top of the fact that encoded onto the
atoms
or molecular structure of the item,
the atomic structure.
The atomic structure, because mafia people have the technology to encode on the atomic structure of a fucking diamond, which that was like, wait, what the fuck? It's literally a bank account number for like this family's, like they have $500 million or something like that, and so it's encoded on a diamond, which that seems a little overly complicated for like the characters in this film, like. It could be like, oh, it was like there's a secret code on a painting or something. Like it's like in the paint if you look.
Or it could have been like a little capsule that maybe someone wore around their neck that had a roll of paper in it or something. It's so weird to me that it's encoded on a diamond.
Yeah, like this is like the technology needed to do that seems like a little too advanced for the character. Like I get it, we're still in Gotham. Lots of crazy shit happens in Gotham, but the only other thing that kind of adds up is Black Canary's canary cry. That's the only thing that's like unnatural. Everything else is pretty grounded for the most part. But anyway, Cassandra Cain takes the diamond, and then Harley Quinn takes her away. She was supposed to give him the bad guy, but she didn't. And then he finds out, and he starts freaking out. He's like, "What? What?" And then he sees on the literally other side of his club, there's people in a booth laughing, obviously not laughing at him, but he's like, "Are they laughing at me? Are they laughing at me?" And then he goes over and makes the woman dance on the table, screaming and yelling at her,
and has her dress ripped off of her.
Yeah. And then after that happens, he takes, like, Black Canary's like trying to get out of there because she's like frightened. She's terrified by this. But he's like, no, where are you going? Stay here. And they start to like dance a little bit. It's like, your singing soothes me, little bird. Is that the only reason why he likes her? Because her singing like calms him down? Is it supposed to be like
he makes her his driver and she doesn't sing anymore?
Yeah,
like I'm just confused.
Like what? Like if they're playing off like the music to soothe the savage beast thing, I get it, but it's like it's so small. Like if that's what it is, if that's her affection for her, then okay. But
I will say this though, like he doesn't actually take notice of her or care about her. She'd been singing at his thing for a while, but he doesn't take notice of her until she beats up a couple dudes in an alleyway, and then he's like, ooh,
yeah.
So I don't know. I did not understand his fascination with her.
Yeah, it's like, because he really doesn't like any other women. He loves women, not loves. The only thing he likes about women is that they will come to his club, buy drinks, and make him money. That's it. They're like, but he I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to say. Yeah, so that was like the only thing I guess he liked Dinah for. Yeah, I don't. Like, it's weird. Like, I hate to say that because like I like Hugh McGregor in the role. I think his performance is good, but
his performance is great.
Yeah,
it's just literally his character boils down to rich gay man who hates women.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
Yeah. I would have liked it better if they were a little more subtle with his sexism. Like,
my God.
Like if they were more subtle about it, and then maybe at the end he just finally freaks the fuck out. He's like, calls him like, "Listen to me, you bitch. You should be grateful that I am. You know how many women be lucky to be with me." Like, or maybe like that. Like he actually has really like like that's another okay gay villain. That's cool. That's something like like Disney hasn't done with Marvel yet. So that like I'll give him credit there. But like that would have been really cool. Like he actually is like very severely insecure when it comes to women, and that's why he hates them. Like he like make him what people call an incel. Even though I hate that word, it sounds like a computer chip to me or something. Like make him like that. But he's gay, so I don't get what he has against women. Like he just he hates women because he prefers men sexually. Is that it? Yeah, I'm so confused by his sexism.
Yeah, because at the very end of the movie too, like they're very blatant about it. But like at the end of the movie, he's got this big army amassed outside to take care of the women, to get Cassandra Cain from these women. And he stands on top of a car and he's like, "Men of Gotham, let's go get those bitches." And I was just like, "Oh my God, come on." And I mean, it's not just him though. It's like it carries over into the cop lady's work where a man is keeping her down and her male partner doesn't pay, like mansplains constantly over her and doesn't give a shit about her. Also, did you notice she's the only woman working in that entire office? Like, did you ever see that? There's that one scene she's cleaning out her desk and she's like the only woman.
Oh yeah, there's only dudes in there.
She's the only woman. And not only that, almost every single villain that Harley Quinn comes up against, every single guy that's trying to kill her is a white male. There's like a couple of men of color scattered in there somewhere, but they're also all men too. It's all men that want to kill Harley Quinn. Was there any woman? Was that one person? I could not tell this. That one person in the car, was that a woman or a man?
Oh, the one. Oh, there was the one where like she was labeled as asshole who looks like Frida.
I couldn't tell if that was a man or a woman.
That was a woman.
Okay.
And then the only other one that's coming to mind because was that there was like that one black chick who came out who threw her air conditioner at her from her window or when Renee Montoya's coming after the market.
Yeah. Well, but she plays in roller derby, so like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the one thing that bugged me. I wanted to get into this. So Harley Quinn, like the first 10 or 15 minutes all about Harley Quinn, seeing now that she's broken up what she's doing, she's got her own little apartment, this little crappy apartment, but it's hers. She does roller derby, she's out and about. And I'm like, you are unusually exposed. How has a cop not seen her? And how does so many people as she walked down the street not know that she's fucking Harley Quinn? Like, she's...
Well, they try to explain that because she has not revealed to anybody yet that her and Joker broke up. So she doesn't reveal to anybody so she can keep doing whatever the fuck she wants to do.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the cops don't try to touch her either because of Joker. Like, the cops only start coming after her after they learn that Joker and her are broken up.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can understand the villains not coming after her, but, like, the cops, it's just like, what, you know, like, I don't know. But then, of course, like, this also makes me think, like, wait, with everything that happened in this movie, why didn't, like, and I get it because Ben Affleck's done with Batman, but it's like, how did all this happen in Gotham and Batman didn't show up once? Like, and I get it. They can't have Ben Affleck back as Batman, but that's kind of shit that like makes me think, you know. But yeah, no, it's like she was like unusually exposed, even like. I don't know. Like I didn't completely buy the whole like she's got like Joker protection. Like
I will say the whole plot of the movie not the whole plot, but the main portion of the movie takes place over like half a day. So like maybe that's why Batman doesn't show up, because it's not only that, it takes place over half a day and it's mostly contained. Like you have one small scene in a police station where they're trying to get to the kid, and like a bunch of people show up. Or Harley Quinn's there, and then a bunch of people are after this kid. They go there, but then the rest of it, like Harley Quinn's just hiding out in her apartment, or they're hiding out in some abandoned carnival area, and you know it's all contained into like a few small locations over the course of like 8 hours.
Oh, here's something that I just realized. So there's this. It's a kind of technically a cool little scene where Harley Quinn busts into like the police precinct to grab Cassandra Cain, and she's got this this grenade launcher, which looked like the same model from Terminator 2 that they had, but instead of firing grenade shells, she's firing beanbag shells, which is a real thing. You can get these little things they fire out and they nail you, and they hurt like fuck. Like I've seen videos online. Holy shit, they hurt like fuck. But why? She's still a villain at this point in the movie. Why doesn't she just shoot the cops?
Yeah, I was very confused by that too. Because
it's cool and fun and colorful because some of them are beanbags, some are like smoke canisters, and there's like her colors, like the blue and the pink or whatever. But it's like, why aren't you using a fucking gun? You're not a good guy.
Well, especially because like one of the scenes before that was her feeding a guy to a hyena.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the famous Harley Quinn hyena. Finally, I mean, it's usually depicted that she has two hyenas, but she only has one in this movie. It only shows up a few times, and it's really just there for the joke where she named the hyena Bruce after Bruce Wayne. You know, not realizing he's Batman. But yeah, it's like, okay, the hyena's there, but hyena's just like, I thought the hyena was going to play like a bigger role or something like that. Wouldn't the hyena have been awesome in the final battle scene? Like while they're kicking out, kind of like there's this great scene in John Wick 3 involving dogs. It would have been kind of like that.
Oh, it's fucking amazing.
Oh, have you seen John Wick 3?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, fuck.
I will not miss a John Wick movie.
God damn it, I'm glad you're here. All right. It's going to fucking strap you to that chair. You're never leaving the fucking studio. Anyway. Now I'm the sexist. Anyway. But yeah, no, I would have liked the hyena to show up more because like that's part of like the Harley Quinn mythos. Like she has the pet hyenas. They would have been a great help in this damn movie. Because like usually when the goriest parts is that scene with the hyena where he's like eating a guy's leg because she goes to buy the hyena illegally from this guy, and you know she's like, "Oh my god, I love you, hyena," and the guy comes like, "I accept all forms of payments," meaning, okay, suck my dick, right? Yeah. But then he's like, oh, she just lets the hyena kill him, and like she gives him like this leg to chew on as a dog bone. That's some Harley Quinn shit, right? But she won't shoot cops. Was that like were they afraid to show cops getting shot? Where like they're like, oh, that'd be too far for Harley? I'm like,
but she does call them pigs.
Yes.
So
I mean, and visually it was a fun little scene with the beanbags, and some of them were full of confetti or like colored smoke
or paint,
yeah.
You know, cool things. It was a cool scene. It was one of my favorite fight scenes. There are a lot of fight scenes in this show that drag on for fucking ages. Yeah. They have some cool moments, lots of slow-mo, if you like slow-mo. But like, I also feel like you have that scene in the front of this police station, and then like 5 seconds later, you have another fight scene in the back of the police station, which also takes like an additional 5-6 minutes. Yeah. So you have about 12 minutes of fight scene, and it just got exhausting. Little bit.
Like the second half of that where she's fighting the other hitmen or assassins, whatever you want to call them, in the precinct who are trying to get Cassandra Cain. It's like towards the end of it, I was kind of like, oh, I just remember something. I was totally confused by this. So there's a scene where Black Mask has her, right? She's like tied to a chair, and he's trying to give his little villain monologue. And because Harley Quinn was a psychiatrist, she psychoanalyzes like, I know exactly what you're about to say, blah blah blah. You're about to say this, and he keeps cutting her off. And it's a fun little moment from Harley because she does display like, oh yeah, she was a clinical psychologist or something. And there's moments in the movie where she does display that, and it's like, oh, that's right, she's crazy, but she's actually really intelligent. Like when But then Black Mask gets pissed at her for like interrupting him so many times, so he backhands her, and then she has a small little hallucination of a musical number that she's in,
like a burlesque number almost.
Almost, yeah.
It's so weird.
Like it felt so out of place.
I was very confused.
Yeah,
and not only that, like it's a weird number too because like she's surrounded by men in the strappy black leather masks and like. She just I don't know. I was very confused. Why was it there? I don't understand.
What's happening?
Like,
what's going on here?
What was the point of that?
I need to know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's in the trailer, so I thought it was going to be like a whole musical number, but then he hits her again and she snaps out of it. I feel like it's like one of those things like because there was like is that supposed to be like in Deadpool when he like gets shot through the head or he gets a sword through the head and he has like with Deadpool he hallucinates like there's little things around like those little like cartoon characters or whatever. But I was like I kind of feel bad for keeping making the Deadpool comparisons, but they're fucking there. I'm sorry. Damn it. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about one scene that we were both agreed with. This, like, not a full scene, a moment that was fucking stupid. Okay. So Black Mask is towards the end of the movie after they had this huge fight scene in an old carnival, which was it just me or the design of the carnival, like the House of Fun or mirrors or no, it wasn't a House of Mirrors. Well, there was some mirrors. Anyway, something about the design of the place made me think of Tim Burton.
I didn't really. I just thought something about it felt really fucking off. Yeah. Like that's
what I'm saying. It felt like Tim Burton designed this like little carnival area, but the aesthetic didn't match the rest of the film.
Also, the CGI of the carnival area was really bad and unbelievable, and I didn't know what I was looking at. Like I was like, how does a place like this exist? You get like an eagle eye view, and it literally looks like a video game scene.
There's definitely moments in the film where there's overuse of CGI. Will always be a proponent of practical effects and practical sets. Just a few nights ago, I rewatched a movie I have not watched in years. I rewatched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, so good.
The grass, like the backyard area when they're shrunk, the giant leaves of grass and the rocks, that still looks great today.
It looks amazing. I always go back to Jurassic Park. Yeah. Jurassic Park looks amazing, and it was made in 1994.
Yeah.
And I never have any moments of disbelief. But then I go and watch Jurassic World, and I'm just like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were really doing some advancements for that first movie. They were like, they had if I remember correctly, they had developed some new technologies to make the dinosaurs look good. And what really works with Jurassic Park, the original one, is they knew, okay, use CGI for the wide shots of the dinosaurs, the T-Rexes, but they knew, okay, close-up shots, use the puppets, use the animatronics. Mm-hmm. And when you keep bouncing between the two, it keeps your mind distracted so you don't notice what's real and what's not. Mm-hmm. And there's only a scene where, like, at the end of the movie, they're on some pier, this long pier that's covered in fog, and I'm like, that's some CGI fog right there. I don't believe any of this damn shit. But anyway, so there's one scene where it's at Black Mask, he's in his limousine, he's riding off Cassandra Cain, and Harley Quinn is right behind him on roller skates.
Yeah, she's holding onto the back of the car on roller skates. Yeah. Wait, no, it was before this. So she's right behind him on roller skates. She had used Black Canary's sound wave to get a boost to go after him.
Yeah, and then she did kind of like, then Huntress comes along on her bike and she does kind of like grab a rope.
Are we talking about the same scene? Which scenes are we talking about?
At the end when she's chasing after Black Mask on the roller skates.
I know, but are we talking about when she gets smacked by a car?
That's what I was leading into.
So that came before Huntress showed up.
So right before Huntress shows up to give her help, She loses grip of the car, if I remember correctly, and then another villain car comes around, swerves around the corner, slams her, sends her flying through the air, and she slams into the side of some like van that happens right there, and she just gets up like it
didn't even phase her.
What?
Not a single phase moment.
What?
And they're going at least 40 something miles per hour,
Yeah,
at least.
they're
And the
fucking
other cars,
booking it.
like the other car's going really fast. You see her. It's a violent hit into this thing, and she just gets up and just keeps going. Like Huntress shows up and hands her a rope, and she just rides by on the motorcycle like no problem. But then at the very end of the car chase, she is holding on to Black Mask's car, and she sees that they're about to crash.
Yeah.
And so she lets go and sort of like tumbles a little bit, and then she gets up and limps and has blood all over her. And
Well,
I'm like,
it's because she took off her magic roller skates. They put a protection field around her.
apparently, here's my thing, and I'm going to say this, and this is one of my biggest things that I have such a problem with, and I understand that this is a comic book hero movie. I get it. And I understand that these are also movies, so some suspension of disbelief needs to be had in any movie universe. But a woman is not as strong as a man. Okay, can we just get that out there?
Hey, shut the fuck up, Joe Rogan. Okay, shut the fuck up, Joe Rogan.
So, like,
my
it's
podcast.
scientific studies show that the strongest woman is not as strong as the strongest man. So, a lot of times when you get these movies where you have these women who are very athletic, very good at fighting, and there are tons of women out there. And I even, I took Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a year and wrestled with some incredibly strong women who have been training in Jiu-Jitsu for 10 plus years. There are some amazing women out there. Those same women would tell me that the moment they would get in to wrestle with a guy, they'd be struggling hardcore. Like they just would not be able to do it. And so you see these movies where you have these women that are putting down man after man after man, and not just like average nerdy men or like men that are like, yes, I understand if you have fighting prowess versus like a thug who doesn't have fighting prowess, cool. But they have tons of mercenaries going after Harley Quinn. I guarantee you some of them have some fighting prowess. But all of these women, you don't even see them take a hit from any of these men half the time. They just put down man after man after man. And there's like at least 100 men. And they're not even breathing hard by the end of it. I didn't see any blood or any bruises or anything on anybody but
There's a little bit
Harley
of dirt
Quinn.
on their cheeks. A little bit of
A
dirt.
little bit, yeah, a little bit of dirt. No real injuries. I will say one of the cop gets shot briefly, but she has a bulletproof vest on, so it doesn't even matter. And I'm just like... it was really hard to suspend disbelief because I'm sitting there and there was not a single moment throughout the entire film where the woman was at any point I felt afraid for her. Like any of the women, I never felt afraid for them. There was always, they always seemed to be better than every single man.
Yeah,
that was there.
I think that's probably one of the reasons why I was having trouble getting into the action, because there's very rarely moments where it's like you feel the tension and the danger. And we were talking about this right after the movie, at the theater. One of the biggest, and we just mentioned him earlier, one of the biggest badasses in cinema right now is John Wick. Keanu Reeves' John Wick is awesome. And he's just he's an amazing fighter. But throughout the course of the John Wick, each movie, he takes a lot of hits. He takes damage, And I said it before, like that movie Atomic Blonde, which I don't like Atomic Blonde a lot. I think it's okay. But at least Charlize Theron in that movie, by the end of that film, she is busted up.
Yep.
It's okay to have a woman be a fucking badass, kick ass, but still show her bleeding or get bruised or like something get broken. She's still just because you take damage does not mean you're a badass. Because if you survived all that, that's badass.
Yeah.
All right. And there's something else that like they do better with this with Black Widow.
Black Widow, yeah, exactly.
Black Widow, she has got those dual-wielding guns. She's got her multiple little gadgets with, like, little stun items and stuff like that. And when she's fighting somebody that's, like, twice her size, she does that, like, thing where she'll, like, get on top of them and spin them around and use them, like, spin and use the momentum of the body weight to flip them over and knock them the fuck out. She uses multiple tactics and techniques to take down her opponents. And it doesn't make her any less of a fucking badass that she's just not, like, knock them out with a single punch or kick.
Yeah, there was a lot of knocking out with a single punch or kick in the show. And I'm like, and not only that, these men that they're fighting are huge, muscular men. Like, huge, muscular men. And I'm just... I struggle because I have a friend who's an MMA fighter, and I've been to a couple of the cage fights. I've seen these strong, muscular men. Fuck, I wrestle with my boyfriend, okay?
Oh, he's a big dude.
He's a gigantic dude. And he pins me with so little effort. It's frightening. It's very frightening.
And like you said, you've practiced some martial arts,
exactly. And I work out at the gym, and I'm stronger than my dad. Now my dad's a 62-year-old man, but I can lift, and I'm a pretty decently strong woman. And it terrifies me how incredibly fast my boyfriend can pin me. And so, like, I've even told him this. I'm like, it actually scares me. So, like, it's really hard for me. Now, if at the end of the movie they were beat up and they looked, or if there was moments and times where, like, one of the women, like, for example, in Infinity War, where you have that small scene with Black Widow and...
Scarlet Witch.
It's near the very end. It's on Wakanda. There's that fighting scene, and who is it that's Black Widow's like beat down?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the other women come down to help her.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been fine with one of those scenes, but you never see any of these women in any vulnerable moments, except for at one point Harley Quinn is hit with a tranquilizer dart.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only way you can put her down, apparently, is hit her with a tranquilizer dart.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, because seriously, after that, like, once again, that scene where the one car swerves in, swipes her, and sends her flying through air and into the other car, it's like...
A normal person would have been fucking broken.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like, they would have been destroyed.
Yeah, even... Yeah, I mean, there's like... And once again, I've seen that happen in movies like... John Wick got hit by a car in his one movie. But when he got hit... It took him a few seconds to at least get. You saw the pain on Keanu Reeves' face.
Yep.
Like, he's like struggling. It's like and she only struggles after she lets go and tumbled. Like, I guess there was a lot of gravel on that part of the road when she tumbled. And her weakness is gravel.
I didn't see any like damages on her either.
She's very dirty. I think she had one little cut on her arm.
She had a couple. Okay, at the very last scene, you do see a couple small cuts on her, but like throughout the entire chase scene, she doesn't look damaged to me. Like, I'm like, where did all this damage come from?
If I was Harley Quinn, I'd never go on that street again. That street,
that
block of that street. There's something that warps the universe that causes damage and blood. But anyway, yeah. So I almost want to the more we talked about this, the more this movie's pissing me off. I think I want to change my recommendation.
And again, I'm all for strong female characters. Like,
fuck yeah,
we've had them for ages.
I grew
like,
up watching.
If anyone's gonna tell you. Sorry.
I grew up watching Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh my God.
I'm all down for some badass bitches. Okay,
Xena is fucking amazing. Yeah, and even Gabrielle was fucking amazing.
Yeah, even she eventually learned some because she had her staff. She learned some shit.
And fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah. Who else? What's her name in Aliens? Why can I not remember her name? Why can't? Oh my God.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes, thank you.
As Ripley.
Yes, and then Sarah in the Terminator movies.
Yeah.
Like, we've had examples, and fucking even Leia in Star Wars is a fucking badass bitch.
And if you want to stay in DC live action, the Arrowverse shows have had plenty of great female characters that can throw down. Black Lightning's daughters, they're both badass in their own way. Even Black Lightning's wife, Black Lightning, he's the main character of the show, but his entire family and women, they're all great characters. They're all badasses in their own way. And I can go on with the Arrowverse characters, but
I feel like they have moments where they get beat down, they get fucked up.
Yeah.
And I just never felt any sense of urgency or any sort of like feeling for any of the women. I was just like, oh, they're just going to get through this. Like, there was no sense that they would ever get hurt. Even when, like, I think there was one point Harley Quinn had one guy had his arms wrapped around her from behind. Oh, yeah.
And she does this thing where she puts her bat between them and, like, she twists.
That was a really cool move. I enjoyed that.
I like that move, but then right after
he just does it again.
He does it again. It's like, wait, you negated that cool little fucking thing she did with her bat to release it. Like,
and not only that, she's like a tiny little woman she looks like she weighs 100 pounds dripping wet. And I'm just sitting there going, yeah, definitely the little twisty bat move would have worked. But the whole time that he's holding her, which is very loosely, by the way, you can like see the gaps in his arms. She's like kicking the shit out of his partner who's in front of him, and then she like flips over and takes him down. And I'm just like, That's not how wrestling goes. I've wrestled with some fucking strong ass people with Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and oof, no.
Oh my God.
So
well,
I don't know. It's really hard to suspend disbelief.
I feel you. I feel you. We're gonna have to wrap up the spoiler section review there. Wow, I think I kind of want to change my recommendation from see it during the matinee to save money to not see it. Like, once again, I didn't hate it, but now the more I talk about them, I'm like, this is what happens in the spoiler section with me. I get fucking irritated because I start actually looking at details. But anyway, so we're gonna end it there. That's our review and our thoughts on Birds of Prey. Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see a full episode, I live stream every Thursday night on Facebook right after I see the movie, or you can tune in to the Revenge Online Radio Network every Friday morning at 9 a.m. If you enjoyed the show, please consider contributing to the Patreon, patreon.com/PO Vincent.